Okay, so we are now in our little heaven's place in Saint-Adolphe d'Arvor. This is up north, Montreal, Quebec, and this place is absolutely gorgeous. It is turning into fall here. Actually, we are in the fall season, and the colors are getting very interesting. I brought the drone. Most definitely we'll do some drone shots, but let me show you the place around, because this, if you come to Quebec, if you come to Canada, the north region is very interesting, and you can find some very nice looking little places like this one. Let's go. There we are. This is the living room. Very nice, very cozy. We got the gear. I'll go through that in a second so you guys can see what we brought on this trip. So you cannot go without a fireplace. This is what makes it worth it, because you know, the smell of wood and the crackling and stuff. So this will definitely become handy because it's starting to get cold here. You've got the crazy bath here, so this will be very interesting. Maybe not for me, maybe for me, we'll see. But mostly for Vicky, for sure. And speaking of Vicky, she's actually right here in the kitchen, already starting to do some cool little snacks for us. What are you cooking?
Baguette with cheese.
A baguette.
Baguette.
Okay, well, can't wait to eat that. And we've got the little solarium. I don't know if that's the actual name, but look at this place. This is gorgeous. You can have a little snack. You are in nature, enjoying the colors. Love places like that. Little kitchen right here, and if you go up the stairs right here, let's take the stairs, you've got this very typical little country house with the triangle windows right there, and here are the two beds. So again, very cool place. Okay, so we are now embarking in a little journey. So we're gonna go find a lake, because that's where we want to fly the drone, and we want to take some very cool photos. I think there's some canoe also that we can take, so we'll make for some very interesting cinematography and some cool drone shots. Wow, what a cool location. Small lake right there. The colors are wonderful, and about to fly the drone, taking some photos. Vicky is already looking at the canoe. She might go on the water. We're gonna follow her with the drone. Wow, I think this is one of the coolest places I've come to shoot the drone and the Fuji. So let's get some action going. That was a lot of fun flying the drone all across the lake, and yeah, I think I got some cool shots. I'm trying these new polarizing filters, so I don't know how the footage will come out. Probably you just saw it, and if you didn't see it, it's because it's crap. You know, you have to try, you have to learn. So I hope it turned out well. Okay, so here we're gonna take a portrait of Vicky on this piece of wood, and we're gonna try to capture the color of the leaves. Pretty cool if you have a chance to shoot during fall in northern hemisphere. It's very cool because the colors are great. It's not super sunny, so that makes it a little bit harder to get the pop from the colors, but you know what? The Fuji cameras are made for colors, so I'm not too worried about that. So putting on the 56 1.2 to get that bokeh-licious action going. Definitely something that will come in handy when trying to separate the subject from the background. So let's try it now. So, without further ado, I know that some of you actually wanted to see the lenses and the gear that we brought on this trip to capture all this magnificent footage. So, first of all, this is the heavy kit. This is not the light kit that we usually bring on, air travel. This kit is actually, quite heavy when you add up everything. But it is a kit that gives you a full-blown coverage of all the millimeters that you might need, and all the focal length, and also the depth of field and so on, and and some drone actions too. So the lenses that we brought, first of all, the cameras that we brought, the X-H1 is actually filming me right now, so I'm using this mainly for video, but also for some photography. So this is a true hybrid option for Fujifilm shooters that wants to shoot photos and videos. But I mean, the trusty X-T2 is still in our bags, and it's mostly Vicky who's shooting it right now. There's a 35mm attached to it. Very good lens too. This is the f2 version. Very nice all-around lens and very light, very portable. So X-T2 is in the bag. X-H1 that's filming me right now. In terms of lenses, I mean, if you look at the first lenses that the first lens that would actually cover every, pretty much 90% of everything you need, it would be this 16 to 55 2.8. So this is the Pro series with the XF little red badge that you have here. And this pretty much covers your 24 to 70 equivalent on a full frame body. It's very well built, it is weather resistant, and it is actually a joy to use with the X-H1. You want to know why? Well, this lens is not stabilized. There's no stabilizer on the lens, but there is now a sensor that is stabilized in the Fujifilm X-H1. So that makes it the perfect couple with the stabilized sensor and this magnificent lens that gives you, nice bokeh and a very, very cool range. So that's the first lens that is in our bag. The second lens is some pure magic, I would say, the 16mm f1.4. So this is, I would say, mainly for video for me. I know a lot of people use it for photos, and I have used it in the past, but I find myself using this lens because of the 1.4, very nice depth of field for videos. It's actually quite good for focusing. Not all of these lenses are good and rapid for focusing. That one actually responds well, at least on an X-H1, and I like the fact that you can pull that manual focus ring right here and turn it into a manual focus system very rapidly. Also weather resistant, so if you are experiencing some rain and so on, this will cover you. Then we have the 10 to 24. This is our environmental portrait or landscape lens. This is an f4, and the only downside to this lens is that is not weather sealed. I would love for that lens to be two things, f2.8 and also weather sealed, but for now it is a light, it is a small wide angle 10 to 24, which is pretty cool. Stabilized lens, so this is a lens that will work in tandem with the X-H1 stabilized sensor, so you get extra smooth shot. I know some people use it for vlogging, and I can understand why, getting that very wide option at 10 stabilized with the X-H1 stabilization on the sensor makes it for a very stable system. And this lens here, the 56 1.2, is the Bokeh-licious lens. This is the actual pure madness when it comes to bokeh. So this lens is old. This lens is slow to focus. Not so bad on an X-H1, and I'm pretty sure that on an X-T3 it's pretty quick, but it is the best portrait lens I've ever used, and I've used the 85 1.4 on Nikon, I've used Canon, I've used other brands, and now I'm finding myself returning to that lens, and that lens is brought on every single trip because we want that bokeh and that detail. This is very sharp. Also not weather resistant, so be careful if you are shooting it outside in the rain. And the last one is, again, a lens that I only bring when I travel by car. It is the 50 to 140. This is your 70 to 200 equivalent. I mean, we are in nature, beautiful St. Adèle flowered, but sometimes we can see some wildlife, and sometimes I want to do a portrait from a distance, so this lens comes in very handy. Other lens accessories, polarizer. When you see that there's a broad daylight and harsh light going out outside, and if you want to bring the sun down a bit but still use wide open aperture, consider getting one of these ND filters. This is a 10-step ND filter, and I have other less powerful ND filters, so you can actually keep your aperture very open and also get that blurry background, so consider this. Another accessory that I brought is, well, I wouldn't say accessory, I would say another system that I brought is the DJI Mavic Pro. This is the Mavic Pro 1. This is still suiting my needs very well, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy these little additions that I bought recently, and these are the ND filters, speaking of ND filters, but made for the DJI Mavic Pro. So as you can see, I've installed one, and this should actually help me get more cinematic shots and also help me with the harsh daylight and sun when it's reflecting on the lake and on the trees and so on, so we'll get richer colors. And last but not least, this little guy here comes in very, very handy. This is the Godox. I forgot what model is it, and but what it does is that it gives you a very powerful light, very, very powerful, and you can use it for video, you can use it for photos, you can actually adjust it like that, so you can find the perfect, and this is so powerful. This must be blasting the screen right now. The X-H1 must go crazy. This is so powerful. So that's it, guys. This is everything we brought on this trip, and this is what we're using to capture our stories. Speaking of stories, I want to let you know that I've started a podcast because I love video so much, but another thing that I really like and I'm pretty passionate about is storytelling. And I think that podcasting, I mean, I've been podcasting since 2005. I've had numerous podcasts. I also host the Brand Experience podcast, which is a marketing podcast, but for that photography and visual storytelling passion of mine, I wanted to connect with you on another touch point. So please go to fredranger.com/visual storytelling. Again, it's fredranger.com/visual storytelling, and you'll be able to listen to episode 0 where I actually talk about why I'm creating that podcast. If you're interested, please let me know. If you want to hit me up on Twitter, I'm @FredRanger, and on Instagram @FredRanger2. So guys, see you soon. Let's go take some shots with this, because gear is great, but you know what? At the end of the day, what's even more important is using it. Let's go use it. I went to shrink. Do I live my dreams? She said it's like a sex that's bringing me down. And I
pass by.